Now what I do is I wait for somebody to tell me that they can hear me. Connection, excellent. When the concurrent viewers thing shows up to something, okay, it's refreshing. I have to remember that we have like I guess the delay is about 15 seconds. Hey, there we go. Are we live? Is everything live? Sound is choppy. Oh, wait. I can find headphones, and I can hear what I sound like. Sound is shit. Great. I don't hear anything through here. I can't tell what I... Oh. Definitely have to have this plugged in. Every day is a new adventure. Every day. Did plugging in headphones make it stop? Oh, great. Now an echo. I didn't change anything. The microphone is the exact same setup on all the same settings. I didn't do it. This is how it works. Yeah, all my settings are the same. And it looks fine. Oh, and now, yeah, see. This is what I love about technology. We did nothing and now it works. That's always comforting. I like to make no changes and have a difference in output. That's awesome. I think I know what it is. It's that there's a monitor output in the software, only I don't know where it's outputting to. So it was making sounds that you could hear but that I couldn't hear. If that makes any sense. YouTube Studio is already saying that my I don't have enough bandwidth, but we haven't dropped a single frame yet, so I'm just gonna ignore that today. Am I here? Is Susan here? I feel like we're there. I have no idea what any audio related issues could or would be. I was looking for a mouse, but I don't have any ports left to plug a mouse in, so I can't do that. So we had determined that we're gonna mess with. It came from the Workbench 33. We're gonna do some of that today, and I did this thing which was prep work, and I think the prep work probably went too far. But I am tremendously easily distracted, so it's going to take me a while to put the thing together anyway. And beyond that, so I put the skid in. I don't know if it's a VS410 skid or if it's an axial skid. It's one or the other. I built up the RC Boys shocks, changed all the parts in them. They seemed to go together pretty well. What I landed on for building these was in the parts in the 2362, you've got the big white spacers. I didn't use any of those. They got the little clear, I don't know, nylon, whatever they are. I do spacer, O-ring, spacer, O-ring, and then the big one, and then the clip. And it seemed to, like, there's not there's not too much bind to it. And also, you get, like, no shaft wiggle because we've got plastic, rubber, or silicone, whatever. Plastic. So there's 3 rings. It seems to be the go-to for these. They went together pretty well. They haven't looked like they're leaking at all. So that's good, I guess. Well, yeah, we don't want leaking, right? We've got the rest of the bits, I think. What we probably don't have. Well, okay. What I know we don't have for 100% sure are bumpers. I dug through the bumper bin. The bumper bin is getting a little low in terms of supply. I pre-cut out the Raptor, and I pre-cut the Raptor out for a good reason, which is, I don't know, maybe Proline's coming around. I thought that the Bug, the old VW over there, I thought that thing was thick. The Raptor's thicker. There were moments I felt like I was going to break the scissors trying to cut that thing. It looks like it's going to fit. What is up in the air, and what we don't know if it's going to work or not, is the links. So here's hoping. I held the VS410 skid. Well, I held the Phoenix skid up to this skid, and it looks like the attachment points are basically in the same places. So the links should mostly put the axles in the same places, and the same goes for these are the, I had mentioned them weeks and weeks ago, the $50 AR-44s. The spacing on everything looks to be nearly identical to the F10. So, I mean, and F10 is definitely AR-44 inspired. And, so there are a bunch of, I got too many ideas. There are a bunch of semi-quick view, junk view things going on here all simultaneously because we've got a mess of things that we've never used before. So we're going to find out whether or not they work. The $50 AR-44s. I set up the gearbox with the Hobby Wing 555 5-slot 13-turn 550. I built a new tray here to just run a full-size servo on it. I figured we already have more weight than anyone could ever hope for. And there was a half completed thought in there somewhere. And that half completed thought is in the item description of these, they refer to them as reverse rotation. And I was like, what does that mean? Does it mean that one rotates? No, it doesn't mean that one rotates the opposite direction of the other. They both rotate the same direction. But on an AR-44, here's the side with the ring on these. On an AR-44, the ring's over here. So they rotate the opposite direction of regular ones. And to be completely honest, I have no idea why. I don't know why you would need that. But here we are. I am now bristling with fear because the chat hasn't updated in 2 minutes. Usually I can't keep up with this thing. Let's open Studio. Where's it going to open this window? Okay, here we go. Am I talking to myself? Okay, it's not opening Studio at all. Okay, there we go. Okay, so all of a sudden it just went. So hello to everybody that just made it a post now. Barry Rhodes and PPO and all the folk posting up. Hello to Quebec. Is that the 5-slot motor you actually like? I don't know. I have never tried this one before. Prior to meeting this one, this is the 5-slot motor that I like. Surpass Rocket Crawler 540 Plus V2, the 16 turn and the 20 turns, the ones that are gold. You can also get them from NHX on Amazon. They're blue. AliExpress as well. These are the 5 slots that I like because they are buttery smooth and they have as much power or more than a 3-slot, but they have the smoothness of a 5-slot. So the jury is out. I mean, someone just, Carrie Family just said, is the reverse rotation for a portal in a straight mullet build? It could be. But when I did my mullet, I used this exact gearbox. You notice there's 2 outputs on the front. They are reverse. One rotates one way and one rotates the other. And then it has just conventional rotation out on the other side. I could have done it other ways, but why not put a 2-speed, a belt drive 2-speed on a mullet, which is what I opted to do. But yeah, you could definitely do that because I'm guessing it's conventional gears. It's not reverse gears because they do make reverse gears where the cut is and they're designed to be flipped. But I don't know. We're gonna find out if these work. I was actually comparing them to genuine axial AR-44s, and it all feels pretty much very similar. I changed out all of the scungy hardware, the zinc-plated hardware to decent hardware. And I also changed out the really dodgy hexes that came with it, with some of my least favorite hexes. These are like axial stock hexes, not capper hexes. These are the kind that with a pin, not with a through pin. I don't like them, but I like them better than what they came with. And why I say the universal is the only thing that I find somewhat questionable. I can turn it all the way this way, and let's see if you can see the camming. Watch this part right here go whomp, whomp. It's where the universal itself is camming. If I turn it all the way to the other way, it doesn't do it at all. Hold on. It doesn't do it at all. I had it on a drill, and I was spinning it. And on this side, it goes whomp, 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 whomp. And on this side, nothing happens. So I considered if just momentarily, I have a set of even cheaper axles that I had bought on Black Friday on a Lark. I paid like $40. They are terrible. They are terrible. It turns out they're actually portal axles. And I couldn't tell from the pictures. So on the Black Friday sales on Amazon, I bought these for like $40. And the steer angle, because they use a CVD into the knuckle, they're terrible. They like the steering. I don't think they have 40 degrees of steering angle. I'm hoping that they have some sort of sound, like you can watch the knuckles. It's so bad. Like if you were to set these up on anything with any kind of power to your servo, you'd snap a CVD almost immediately. But maybe we can make the world's worst mullet out of it, because I think the rears are probably okay. Just pair them with some equally garbage straight axle. I don't know. I despise throwing things away, but honestly, when I took those axles out and started looking at them, I was like, I think I want to throw these away. Well, we will find out. So what I did before you all turned up is what you would expect me to do, which is I came out here first thing in the morning. I started doing all my prep work. I made the plate because I was like, I'm not putting a micro on this. I'm just going to make a copy of the existing plate. So I'm filling a bin with 4409s because I keep replacing all my 4409s either with the DS 015 or going to micros with the Endura 2065s. So I have a surplus of these, and the throw on this is microscopic to get this thing to go from first gear to second gear. So making a plate took about 20 minutes, and it works great. And then I was like, we'll throw that 555 on there, which is a 13 turn 550. What does that convert to? I don't know. probably around I want to say it's around a 35 turn 543 slot in that neighborhood, but I might be doing the math wrong and it's actually like a 27 turn 540. I can't remember. The turns, they don't mean anything. So I got this servo centered up. He's going to be built on the VT1. We've got the tires. I've got the links. The body is right over here behind me. The only thing hanging out in the air, really, is body mounts. I know I might have body mounts. I definitely don't have bumpers. But we are at very least going to get to a powered roller. Like we're what do you call that? It has no fixins, it has no body, it has no bumpers, it doesn't have any of that stuff, but it's going to be able to move. I've got a pile somewhere. Okay. I looked for 30 minutes this morning. When we got the Falcon Phoenix, it came with the plastic bag with the full sheet of body mounts for VS410, like what you would get if you buy the VS410 chassis kit. I can't find it. I looked apparently, well, I can't make the claim that I looked everywhere because I didn't find it. And if I'd looked everywhere, I'd found it. These are the longest I could find in my bin for the front. And on the Raptor, the hood mounting point is way higher than the bed. So these might be, and also, well, I'll just grab the body right now. And also, the hood of the Raptor has all this Raptor-y stuff going on right here. And of course, you can see it's like right there. Like it's not going to be great unless I either re-drill the tops of these or drill a hole through this way to mount these so that I can have if the pins go in longitudinally, we might be able to get it to fit. But if the pins go in this way, I think we're in for a bad time. Yeah, like I said, I'm still not a Proline customer, but it is tough. It's a little thinner right down here, very thick at the ends, like thick. Basher thick. Like the thickness of a body you would want on like your Stampede. It had one more level it had a little vertical face here, and I knew immediately. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm going to have to cut those off. That fit that's going to be a good fit. It's going to be a pretty good fit. Axle width should be okay. I would make a bumper, and it might turn out that I'm going to need to make a bumper, but we have to get this thing axled and mounted. I have, like, that's as low as we can sit the bed, and that's kind of where I would like it to sit. That looks about right. We're going to try the links. These are all just stock. These are the stock Phoenix links pulled from the RTR. And I am hoping that we don't have to relink the whole thing. They should. Oh yeah, what about Velcro instead of drilling the hood? I might be able to. I do have one last set of magnets. The recipient of this stated that they like green and they want the color to be loud. Their words were loud. So, yep, that's the spacing right there. So that may indeed be a possibility. I have definitely done this before. Might be able to just double-sided tape this to the inside of the body in the front. I will have to disassemble this because on Traxxas, this is a magnet set for Traxxas, so one of them is much bigger than the other. So it won't fit this body mount. But I have drilled them before, and I might be able to just do front and rear magnets. And then because we've got so much, pardon me, because we've got so much meat here, I can put something out to just some angle or some channel to put Velcro on. But we definitely have to get axles in place before candy apple green. I was thinking about I'm way over here now. The leader so far is I'm thinking about doing this not patinaed, but I'm going to paint it on the outside, and I'm gesturing to that. Not a patina, but I'll do silver on the inside, silver on the outside, so that I can just use regular color over the top. And I'm thinking about using the rest of, this is Jake the Snake's paint that was patina. Gloss Jungle Green. It is, that's loud, right? That's pretty loud. I think that might be loud enough. I mean, because the only other green I have is I've got a can of me apart green. That's not loud enough. That's just like green. And then of course I've got, well, green. Too dark. But now, if I were painting it for myself, I would probably, honestly, I would go with like green. Just PS9 green. But I'm not painting it for myself. I think that would look great with these wheels. How I think that, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. He said he wanted loud, and I'm pretty confident in saying that is the loudest can of green paint that I've got. And it because Jake the Snake is an ecto, I used so little paint that can is it doesn't even feel used. It feels like it's full up to there. And the Fusion 5X dries crazy fast. So it's definitely what I'm leaning towards. We will see if time changes my opinions. I'm gonna have to get this is how I have to get fasteners. Off topic, but where would you attach the panhard on custom made chassis rails? That's an excellent question, because it's something that I've had to address multiple times. One of my favorite modes and methods of attachment is, I'm not 100% sure of the part number. I can try to go second screen here and look it up if I can get my phone to work. So this guy right here, this is the panhard mount that you get on the builder's kit from Element, on builder's kit 2. There's another plate that goes behind it to attach it to the factory C-channel rails. But I generally just use this part. I like a vertical mounted panhard. So, most panhards attach like this. I don't like that as much as a panhard mount like this, which allows you to attach it like this. Because if you attach it like this, it allows you to space it up and down so that you can get your drag link panhard parallel to each other. I know that you can buy this separately. And you can get the plastic ones just on a plastic parts tree. I think it might come with the shock towers. But this is from Builder's Kit. Ecto is just like this, Gatekeeper. This is what I use when I have to bolt a panhard mount to a custom chassis. Or, alternately, I've also in the past used this exact one right here, the exact one from Vanquish, which I know that you can also get separately. Let me see if I can watch this. Element panhard mount. We'll see if that search. Yeah, there we go. That is part number. Oh my God. That is part number ASC 42255. Is the Element panhard, and it comes with the back piece and the front piece. Depending on what your rails look like, you might need that back piece. But I don't think maybe on the kernel, I should probably go grab the kernel and see. I generally only use that little piece right there. So let me, I'm going to grab the kernel. Yes, confirmed. Yes, confirmed. I'm back. So, There you go. There's the element panhard mount. I think I had to drill one more hole in the chassis rail and just slapped it on there. And this is that skid forward Injora, very skid forward chassis that was never, ever, ever intended to run chassis mounted steering. The amount of work that I had to do to get that servo in there, I had to build the bumper mounts, I had to build the whole body, I had to do everything. It did not want an offset pumpkin. It did not want chassis mounted steering, and I fought it and fought it and fought it. And in the end, I'm going to win. So yeah, the Element is my go-to. Yeah, panhard mounts, I tell people routinely, and I stand by it, doing servo on axle is like a cheat code because there's so much that you don't have to worry about. 4-link front end is just, it takes so much work out of it because as you'll see when we're setting this up, and anyone who's set up a 3-link front end before, any link length change, if you change the length of any link, it's going to change the length of the other 2 links as well. Panhard and drag link, they go together like this. And upper link, you'll get it set, and now the panhard is spaced. So now you got to move the panhard over, and now that length is wrong. That's why, yeah, flat rails. Flat rails is best. The kernel's on flat rails. When you're on C channels, it's a lot worse. Yeah, doing custom builds off C channels, like swapping axles on C channels, I think Rusty is a good indicator of that. But luckily, the mount points on the F10, his geometry, his front end geometry looks identical on F10s that it did on AR45s, and it's a TRX4 chassis, so it's supposed to have TRX4 rails. But we lucked out with that one. We never anticipate lucking out every time. We always expect the absolute worst. I think it's 20s to bolt the lowers on. Yeah, it's 20s. I had these all organized by size, and then I just kind of threw them around. The best part is we know that all the hollow balls are going to fit. We're just going to use we're going to mistreat Susan here and just build atop her. Well, Mark Sexton says, can't you just center the axle and work from there? Well, I mean, yeah. But you basically, no matter what, if there's a panhard involved, you have chassis mounted steering. And if you have chassis mounted steering, you're working around this guy. The servo is the problem because I made things easy on myself, and I dug through the bin and I found a genuine Vanquish servo horn and even with the genuine Vanquish servo horn, I think they want a 20 and I can only find a 24. So you'll see there's a little shiny spot right there. That shiny spot was because I had to take this to the grinder and grind a little edge off of there because the clearance is, well, there was no clearance. It was trying to wear a hole through. So we should definitely have enough steering throw on this. For the purposes of the build, I don't know where we'll end up at the end, but we're just going with a Amazon, what I call the Amazon Blue case. It should be plenty. I have zero issues with the DS3225SG. It's just slow. You save a bunch of money on them because they're slow. If you want speed, you got to pay for that. Strength is apparently very inexpensive. I'll catch up in the morning. I don't think he missed that much. I don't know. If you miss a video here, I don't know if you really missed anything at all. Why did that stop? Sometimes power. No, I almost said it, but I don't believe it. Power is always the answer. Okay, that screw is way too long on the other side. That's not a 20. Is it? Yeah, that's past. That's well past. I wish I had enough bin space to more properly organize my cap head screws, but I don't. I'm more of a button head guy, but we're building a VS410. We might as well cap head it. We will get these. We will get these, man. I have this sneaking suspicion, and I'm hoping that it's not as true as it was before, but that what we're doing here is academia, and like we'll put it together and it will move back and forth, and it'll have steering and whatnot, and then as soon as you guys leave, I tear the whole thing apart and and rebuild it, because that is largely what happened with where is he? With Sporty Kinda. Those are slightly different lengths. Dang it. But hopefully that's a 20. I think I need 22s. I'm hoping, but yeah, my wife has been on me about building this. All problems can be solved with a rotary tool. You just cut a little off. No, I do need 20s. And if you cut off too much, you just cut some back on. That's the key to all of these operations. Just cut some back on. So this would be, no, that's too long. I can't live with it. I hate when there's a bunch of thread. There's a bunch of thread sticking out. Yeah, I need 20s. I just went through a massive bin of these screws. Yeah, for me, what it is here's my short rambling treatise on why I don't use socket head caps that much. Because it's actually pretty simple now that I think about it a little longer. You can't build a whole rig with just these. At some point, there's going to be some other fastener. We've got the 3, we've got the 1.5, the 2, and the 2.5, right? You can build a rig with just these two and never touch the blue one. So if you only have to change a bit once to do a full service on a vehicle, my laziness takes straight over, and I'll just put a button head there. So it has nothing to do with the fasteners themselves. It's more that I don't want to change bits more. I don't want to change bits any more than I have to. Oh, that lock nut is a lock nut in name only. I should not have been able to use my fingers as a wrench. I've lost the other 20, I think. No, there we go. I desperately want this rear axle to line up with the shocks. We can fiddle with the front because I have a sneaking suspicion that something's going to be off. So and it just takes one. If one link is off, they're all off. If it's the front upper, it's going to be the panhard, isn't it? My negativity shining through, but I'm pretty sure that the panhard is going to be either too long or too short. I went ahead and found, I tend to run turnbuckles for all this stuff. I would prefer this one to have all fully matching links just to make it look nice. So I built up an identical panhard for the drag link, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun and mentally punishing to see how close we get. What I am hoping for is I've got bins of drive shafts over here, and I might have drive shafts that just drop in. That's the dream. All right, let's see. Hey, look at this. So everything is the right size so far. Now I'm going to need a pretty long full thread. Yep. We're getting it. And maybe this time, because I've definitely done it wrong other times, maybe this time I will get the axle assembled correctly. I've mounted axles upside down because I'm not used to working upside down. What do you think of the JK high torque servos? I don't know. The JX, I think the only JX servo I've used is the 4409, and the reason for that is their servos are too expensive. The 50 kgs and stuff, if they've got to be competitively priced to Flash Hobby for me to be like, oh, I'll try that instead. And most of the time, like, I want to try some of the Synths Cam servos as well, because those look pretty nice. But again, they're not just not competitive with Flash Hobby. In many instances, those servos are outpricing AGFRC. And if you're more expensive than AGFRC, it's not going to happen. It's why I've never bought reefs. Son of a... So, I could have made life easier on myself and run a tap through this. But it's... This screw will never fall out. It's impossible to do this. I need a second hand. I need a third hand. I think I got it. Yeah. So it's so tight. The through hole in that is 2.5 millimeter. So that screw is threaded there, and there. That's never coming out. It looks like it's a little snug on the rod ends. So after all is said and done, I will probably just take a plastic for the Dremel and just be like, whip, whip, so that these... I've definitely experienced this before, where you get that real tightness of the link. It will kind of wear itself in over time, or we can make it... We can wear it in right now. Again, that's a Dremel problem. Have you ever done a night episode yet? Well, yeah, yes and no. Like, I haven't done a full like comp type thing or done a lot of driving out at night. I've shown off the lights and we've been out there a couple times. So the gentleman leaving the chat to go to dinner with his wife, which is smart. If the wife says it's time to go to dinner, then you go to dinner. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon. So clearly they are mentally older than I am. Because I live in the past, here in the land of the past, the land of the setting sun. And I just finished lunch like 45 minutes ago. So far, y'all saw that, right? That screw fell into a portal through space and time. It's just gone now. It fell straight down, and it's you know what? We don't even look. Just get another one. So definitely, I'm assuming. I don't know if this is a regional reference, but I'm assuming that him and his wife are going to Norm's, which is a restaurant chain that we have here in Southern California, where if you go in there and you are under the age of 65, you will be the youngest person in the building. So I have to assume that the Mythiganders are going to norms. So here's what I'm noticing. I'm noticing a particular thing about the Amazon AR-44s. That being, like, it's not terrible, but the rod end fitment is oddly tight. And these are just normal rod ends. So like everything is rubbing. Not a lot. Not to the point where I would classify it as interference. But it's just odd. The fitment is odd. These shocks, the RC Boys, they come out to 95. We are going to see. We can always do what we have done in the past, which is just double up and bolt the shock to the same hole as the lower link, which will lower the shock down. Maybe the amount we need. Maybe it won't need to be lowered down. That's why I am just mounting them the way I'm mounting them now. And they're going together okay-ish. Determinedly okay-ish. There is quite a bit of bind. I might be able to. Okay. The rod end has like it's there. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, it's okay now. Now, that's not bad. I mean, we don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna say, oh, it's gonna be interesting to who said it? Nathan Caldwell said, will be interesting to see how the gears hold up. I 100% agree. I pulled them apart to grease them. They appeared to have been greased by the same people that grease Vanquish RTRs, in that there was a lot of blue grease in there, and virtually none of it were on the teeth. So these were very rattly before, and they're not bad now. Like they're pretty determinedly okay. And the plastic, I was worried that the plastic was too flexy, so I was doing the flexy action like this. Stock AR-44s are just as flexy. So I am definitely less worried about them. And I do like that they are all, like, we're going blacked out. We will see. I mean, obviously, I would like it. Also, it'll be easier to bolt them down to the lower hole. We might end up moving to that lower hole. We might not, though. I don't know. It is definitely too early. It is determinedly too soon to say. Yeah, I had to look at it upside down so that I made sure I wasn't going to bolt the panhard to the wrong side of the vehicle. I'd like to see Mr. Canyon do a review of something we know he doesn't like, but pretend like he's amazed like all the other channels. Okay, you got to give me more I don't know, give me something more specific. Hopefully I don't have to spend a lot of money on it. What is something that all the other channels love, but I haven't already been super honest about not liking it? Like, we know Red Cat is off the table. I can't. I'm not an actor, so I can't pretend Red Cat isn't terrible. I'm gonna need a Hannibal. Outback Steakhouse. Oh, now I'm kind of jelly. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, man, that's messed up, man. You can't make me you can't make me try to pretend that I like 2-in-1. Okay, now here's one for you. I'm already blowing through my budget for the month. You know how I do. But I can't remember. One of the sites has the Red Cat Marksman on sale for cheap. we can bring in another Red Cat, and I can pretend to have changed my tune and act like I like it when I know that those are the same axles, right? The Marksman and the Ascent have the same axles. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that that's correct. Just catastrophic, man. The lack of engineering. It's like I mentioned in a comment. Someone had made a comment that they're an axial guy by, like, they're an axial man, but they have no disagreements when I talk about how bad axial shocks are. And I said back to him, I was like, statistically, you think that axial would have just accidentally made a shock that doesn't leak. Like, the wrong box of O-rings would have gotten sent to the factory where the RTRs get put together, and they would have accidentally made non-leaky shocks. But every time you... Well, okay, so the Red Cat Ridge Runner. That has been out as a Danchi for years. Red Cat, in their crawler division, I don't know about any other parts. They don't make anything. To my knowledge, the Red Cat crawler people don't make anything. They're all just rebadged something else's. Except, I guess, the Ascent, which they voluntarily made. But all of their cheap stuff, so the Everest, the Ridge Runner, that one, that's another vehicle that's been around for years. Very similar to the Enduro 12 in that it's just a Thunder Tiger. And someone in the comments had posted, you can go look it up on the Thunder Tiger website. Thunder Tiger made a line of what became the Enduro 12, but were PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds themed. And they have one called the American Truck or the American Pickup or something like that. I would have forgiven a lot of Element if they had just sold us that. It looks way cooler, like way cooler. Almost cooler enough that you don't mind how bad the performance is. I would still be upset about it, but I would, like I say, I have no experience in Red Cat outside of rock crawlers. And, while I'm going to take a break from screws in here for a second, and let me tell you, people will say, I will get this comment routinely when I'm lambasting Red Cat. And it's because Red Cat is a source of pain. Red Cat is a source of agony. And let me tell you why. I have bought 3 Red Cat vehicles. The first one that I bought because I was very new to rock crawling, and I was under the assumption that the other channels that you watch are sources of reliable information, where you could go and watch someone do a review of something and then be like, oh, that looks nice, and then you buy that. And the mistake that I made is I bought a Red Cat Wendigo, which is, without parallel, including everything I've tested since, the worst remote control car I have ever encountered in my entire life. Everything about it is bad. The axles are bad, the shocks are bad, the chassis is bad. The geometry is some of the worst, like uncorrectably bad. You cannot drive a Wendigo at high speed on a what the rest of the world would call a tarmac surface. On a flat surface, one wheel will grip a little harder than the other, and you will traction roll at great speed. So I set towards trying to fix it, to try to make it better, and it can't be made better. Live axles at speed is difficult. Red Cat, okay, if one team is writing in pen, and then Team B is writing in pencil, Red Cat crawlers are writing in crayons, and they don't give them all the crayon colors because they don't want them to break or eat the crayons. So I bought a Wendigo. It was awful. I got rid of it almost immediately prior to making videos. And then reviews, both in print and on sites like Big Squid RC and places like that, said that the Red Cat Everest 10 is the best crawler you can get for the money. And it's terrible. It's terrible. It is ages old technology, and you can feel the cheapness when you take it out of the package, and then you're just gonna. It was the first crawler that I had that routinely suffered parts breakages. I broke I don't know how many universal shafts, gears, you name it, until eventually you've replaced so much of it that there's no Red Cat left. And by the time it got completely disassembled, there was no Red Cat left. Then my buddy connived, tricked, and cajoled me into, well, he paid for that Ascent. And it was surprisingly, and I have to give Red Cat credit for this one, it was worse than I ever thought it could have been. It is an abject failure on every level, and no one will ever convince me otherwise. I've watched the terrain that people crawl on when they're singing the praises of their Red Cat Ascent, and I'm like, really though? Like, really though? Are my expectations too high? I don't think they are, because I subject the Marksman has the same axles as the Wendigo. Ooh. You know what? That's tempting then. Because they are so bad. They are so very bad. Yeah, Red Cat is I want to say US market. It's going to be under some other name anywhere else. Oh, I see what I should have stopped putting screws in about 90 seconds before I stopped putting screws in. I was like, that upper link is way too long. And I was right. That's one thing that I've been right about before. I put the other front lower link in as the front upper link. But I caught it. So we can undo it. I think it was, I'm going to blame it on myself. That's the easiest person to blame. When I put the wrong screw in on this side, I picked up the wrong link when I put the correct screw back in. So there we go. This might work now. This might work now. And I was putting, yeah, okay. I just double checked again. That time we got it. That I was putting it in on the correct side. Oh, if you want to you sit on a throne of lies. So let me rant. You've invited a rant. Leadfoot FPV says, did anyone catch the new vid from ProCrawler with the cheater prank kit polycarbonate chassis? All right, here's the deal. This is a little insight from someone who, for over 20 years, had his basic, whenever he had to fill out any sort of tax or income information, I was listed as parts fabricator. I fabricate parts. I make things. Basically, okay, not all the gubbins and bits, but all of the hard surfaces you're looking at, including the building that this is in, I built everything in this building. I built the building. I built all the things in the building. I built all the fixtures, the floors, everything. I sold parts for Scions and Toyotas for almost 20 years. I'm a parts fabricator by trade. I make things. So when I see, what is it? Pork Belly, is it? The ones that make composite chassis? Or I see somebody making a chassis out of acrylic or polycarbonate or what have you. There's really only one reason to do that, and it's that it's easier on the tooling and is therefore more, or either, whichever you prefer, it's either more inexpensive or less expensive. It's both of those. I used to make a lot of stuff out of, what is it, amyl butylene styrene, butyl styrene, ABS. ABS is a very inexpensive material. So when you see someone making a chassis out of that material and claiming that this has advantages, it doesn't. It does not. There are no advantages to it. None. There's really no advantage to carbon fiber in our application either, because it drops this much weight. But we have China, so we can get carbon really, really cheap. You can buy a carbon chassis from China cheaper than you can buy the carbon to make a chassis yourself. That's why I don't make chassis. I literally cannot compete. So when I see a polycarbonate chassis, when I see an ABS chassis, when I see chassis made out of anything except the big three, aluminum, big four, steel, aluminum, carbon fiber, or G10, which is basically fiber reinforced fiberglass, like oriented strand fiberglass, so it's stronger. I've made a lot of stuff out of G10 in my time, and G10 is basically 90% of the strength of carbon fiber for something like 110% of the weight or something. It's very close, to the point where if you go to a place like Sencut Send or something like that, it's often more expensive to get the part in G10 than it is to get it in anything else, because I don't know, I guess they have to pay more for G10. So if you wanted to see me test something and lie about liking it, get me a hold of one of those alternative material chassis. Oh God. Mr. Daniels went further to say, or Leadfoot FPV went further to say, they want $238 for it. Hold on! For polycarbonate. I'm looking for something. I'm over here. I'm at my bench where I cut things, and I'm looking for something. I thought I had a little scrap piece. You know what? Just keep watching the flashing sign. If the sign's flashing, I'm still alive. Okay. All right. Polycarbonate. This is 16th inch polycarbonate. You're going to use a much thicker polycarbonate if for whatever foolhardy reason you decided you wanted to make a chassis out of it. I prefer not to work with carbon fiber if given the choice. Carbon fiber is filthy. You have to wear some sort of respiration covering because you don't want to inhale the dust, because the dust is filled with microscopic J-hooks. They get into your lungs. They're going to give you COPD or asthma or something on in your life. Carbon fiber is bad. It also turns everything filthy black. That's the C and CF carbon fiber. It's just black dust with J-hooks that pollute your lungs. This is polycarbonate. This is a scribing tool. And what we use a scribing tool for is, let me find another piece. So as I said, I've made a lot of pieces out of ABS. This is 090 ABS. To work 090 ABS, pardon me, Susan, you take your scoring tool, you go like that. That's exactly how you cut polycarbonate. That's how I take this out. So polycarbonate, we would go, I'm trying not to make too many dents in Susan. We would go, so I make that little right there, and then we just snap it. I gotta do it both directions. So this is how polycarbonate is worked. Sometimes you need pliers. If you have a tiny little corner piece like this, it's easier to grab it. Because polycarbonate does indeed share in common one thing with carbon fiber, which is it is stronger on two axes and very weak on a third. So polycarbonate is a pretty abrasion resistant material. That's why they use it to like cover up signs at bus stops and stuff. It's like BB proof. You can't, like a frog hand. But It's not strong this way. Carbon fiber is also not strong that way. Everything has a weak axis. Polycarbonate is not a chassis material. And I will stand by that as a person who has been working with polycarbonate, ABS, aluminum, steel, every wood you can think of. I've probably made something out of that kind of wood. This is white oak. This is birch. This is just honey pine, whatever they had in pine. This is some other kind of pine or potentially white wood. Here's some MDF right over here. You name a wood, we've got it in here. You name a metal, we've got some of it in here too. I hate working with copper. Stainless steel is not one of my favorite things in the world. But you also will not catch me making parts. I will not be making chassis out of polycarbonate. It wouldn't even be a material that I would consider. And to hear that someone is doing it, I mean, good on you. Go for it. $238. I would, upper link is too short. Huh. Upper link is too short. Front upper too short. That is genuinely surprising. Yeah, it's way too short. When you get a front upper that is way too short, I don't know how well it'll show. Look at the pinion. The pinion is pointing over like that because the axle is actually at an angle because our triangulation is super weird. I can almost get it centered. It's not grotesquely too short. Are the Vanquish titanium links any good? Argentum has a titanium set, which I did not buy. That was a Trucks of Fortune time of year thing when they were selling the Phoenix Slider that Blackjack was built out of the Phoenix Slider. I just put the steel links on him, and I put the titanium links on Argentum. Mostly because I drive Argentum more. They are really nice. I love a titanium link. If money were no object at all and I had access to all of it, I would have a lot more titanium links. They really, really do slide better on rock. And they show much less wear over time. Like, you've seen this guy wield a bit, right, Argentum? Like, his links are just lightly scuffed. And when you go like this, you can feel the difference. Those feel smoother than these do, and these are brand new. These have never been wheeled ever. These still feel slicker. But they're so expensive. It's like $90 for a set of links. My genuine advice would be, if you've got $90 burning a hole in your pocket, there are definitely better places to spend it than on a set of titanium links. There just are any number of places. Now, if your rig is to the point where you're like, I have nothing left, man. I've upgraded it to the gills. Treat yourself, like get a little something. Why not? Also, if it's where you're cut off, right? What is the dollar amount that makes you go, I don't know, right? Mine used to be a lot lower. Do you know if someone makes a wide angle prop shaft for the rearmost prop on the TR6? Oh man, the rear drive shaft on a TRX6 is super odd, and it's so short. Oh, my thinking about that is you could probably get a drive shaft for like a slash and cut it down to that length, custom work it. And slash drive shafts are pretty cheap. If my little chest here is unlocked, I can maybe get one out. Yes. Okay. All right. I need a male and a female. Okay. So you would be using two of the ends that go because these will turn at a pretty steep angle, I'm assuming. And because they're the two-piece with the insertion that goes all the way in like that, you can cut them way, way down, and you just use two drive shafts to make it out of. I have used these. You probably have to drill this out because they have a flat inside of them. So the question is, do you know anyone that makes a wide-angle prop shaft for a Jurassic? I don't. I'm still using my stock one. So I think you're gonna have to cobble it. But because these don't have an insert piece and they're made out of plastic, you can get it really, really short, and it's a U-joint yoke. And worst case scenario, these will just pop apart like this has been used on a slash. These are pretty blown out. When they're new, they're not nearly as blown out. Yeah. Back on the topic of titanium lowers, anything is better than aluminum. So if you have aluminum lower links, replace them with anything, and it will be better. Aluminum doesn't slide, it grabs. Let's see. I'm going to have to fabricate we're going to have to stick together a new link for the upper, so I'm just trying to thread this one out and see if we can get into the neighborhood. Yeah, the drive shaft, TRX6 and TRX4 by extension, that's pretty close. I actually might have gone a little too long. We might be able to get away with this. I might just be able to put a longer fitting on it, a little longer rod end. We might be able to get away with this. We'll see. Let's try slat. Let's go whole hog here. Let's bolt the panhard on and bolt the shocks on and see how close we are. Yeah, half completed thought. The drive shafts on a TRX4 they're all CVD. So they don't have nearly the amount of angle. Yeah, brass links. Well, I have made a great number of brass links, particularly for lowers. Jolly Green is all brass lowers and all Delrin uppers because Delrin and brass is one of the easiest metals to work with, particularly if you're buying some, brass of questionable origin. It is going to be closer to naval brass than not, which means it's going to have lead in it. So, don't use it don't make a drinking straw out of it. That looks, I think that link's a little too short too. So, I've discussed this with people before. What you want to do, you know what? We'll bolt the shocks on at the same time. That way we can kind of see what we're working with. I think all the front links are gonna be the wrong length, which was something that I had all but anticipated. But I also think that our wheelbase is going to be close if it's not just completely on. Okay, let me get the other shock on, and then we'll see. We'll be able to tell if we're close enough. Thank you so much, Lee Jordan. Google thanks you as well. They will. Oh man, we're right close. Now you can see the shock angles it's way over that way, which means the axle needs to be pushed that way, which means this link is too short, much like this link was too short. So I'm going to chalk that up to the attachment points on an AR-44 versus an F10. But is that straight? Yeah. That is 313. I want to say it's 55-45. So I get 55% and YouTube gets 45%. You gotta, you know what? This isn't my defense of the rich. Eat the rich. But YouTube has really got it figured out, don't they? They don't really make anything. They trick other people into making things, and they make money off of it just because they like their network TV is dead, that sort of thing. YouTube will absolutely persevere. So we are definitely in the midst of my new Friday. Friday is often people's. Oh, I've emailed you the link to the prank LCG. Oh my goodness. On Friday is a lot of people's favorite day of the week. It is the gateway to the weekend. Friday is definitely one of my favorite days of the week now. I get to do this. I look forward to this all week. And then I come and I get to hang out with you wonderful people and do this. And then I have a splitting headache after this because I talk for like 3 hours straight, which means I get to drive over. We have a bookstore, and by bookstore, I mean a chain of bookstores, Barnes & Noble. There's a little cafe in my Barnes & Noble, and I get a coffee drink in there, and it's the best coffee drink in the world. So as soon as I finish this, I drive immediately over there, and I get a coffee drink, and it's wonderful. Oh, that's upside down. Okay, here we go. I'll make sure my sound's down. I just want to see a little bit of it. Ugh. New Pro Crawler Cheater LCG crawler chassis. I'm going to have to look it up and try to find a picture of it because, man, am I curious. All right. Before we go any further, I know that axle is kicked way over. So here's why I tried to dial this out a little bit to try to get this a little bit centered. But when I dial this out, the length of this is going to change again. Because as this moves over, this link is going to get shorter. And I dialed it out too much, so it's too long now. So I'm going to have to redo that. And then after I redo this, and I tell people, start with the panhard. The panhard is the toughest one to get. Get yourself a ruler that goes all the way to the end. Like I have this ruler, which does not go all the way to the end. Why would you do that? Why would you leave 5 millimeters of ruler ahead of it? I want to take it to the belt sander. So you get your axle at about, there's a tremendous amount of bump steer because these links are completely wrong. So I get it to about where it would sit at ride height, and I measure from the chassis to the kingpin. We've got 40 millimeters right now, or close enough as to be. And then at the same thing, we've got about 32 millimeters on the other side. So the axle is out 8 millimeters too far to that side. So we need to make this link theoretically 4 millimeters longer to move it over this way. So, yes, the lights, that is, the gentleman who sent this in has, he did the best thing. I feel like I missed, what is your electric driver you're using? This is a Boschy. This is the PS31. Am I right? Yes, this is the PS31. These are the non-brushless. These are the brushed versions. And he comes together with his partner, the PS41, which is what I use to put wheels on and take them off, even though I shouldn't. But I also don't have wheel nuts fall off a lot. So if you buy them at the right time of year, I pay $99 US for the pair. Ride Kryko, have you tried the RC 4-wheel drive Genius 2.2? I've been this close to putting them in the cart. I truly have been. they look pretty good. But aren't they? They're 2.2s, but aren't they like a really odd size? Like I seem to remember them either being very big or very small. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know what it is that stops me from buying them, except for the fact that in RC four-wheel drive tires, and I want to say that the Genius are X2SS. I still have an A main window open. Okay, yeah. So the Genius Sim Frontera 2.2 are indeed X2SS. And they do indeed look like a mud bogger tire. Yeah, 5.4 inches tall, but 43 millimeters wide. But again, X2SS, and I do love X2SS. Yes, I have been very tempted by those Genius tires. Basically the same size as a bogger, and I would love to try them on something like Ratchet. Mr. Canyon, I have a Vault 111 thumbs up bobblehead and a limited Fallout 3 power armor statue. Would I like them? If I told you how many hours I have collectively into the Fallout games, you would be alarmed. We got a bobblehead guy over there. He's kind of hiding over here. Is he? Yeah, he's a 101. Out of frame over here because he won't fit. Are you ready for this one? We've got we've got that one. I have a couple Fallout lunch boxes. Fallout definitely near the top of my list of favorite video game series. And I have been a console peasant my whole life. Both my kids have gaming PCs that I built for them, but that is not my jam, because I have no desire to own a Ferrari. And basically what they have are gaming Ferraris. And there's always something going wrong with them. Oh man, I'm waiting for Fallout 5. And, speaking of Fallout, for those of you out there that love Fallout, so Borderlands is probably right up there with me for Fallout. Very different game. You got looter shooter, and you've got RPG, apocalyptic RPG. I love Borderlands as much as I love Fallout games, maybe more so. I think Borderlands in total, I probably have more hours in my life. The trailer for the Borderlands movie does not fill me with hope, but the trailer for the Fallout series on Amazon does fill me with hope. It looks amazing. And you ordinarily, the best way to ruin something that you love is make a TV show or a movie out of it. But I am unstoppably optimistic about the Fallout series. For me, I would say Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was the Commonwealth. That was the most hours. So many hours. I loved New Vegas. And my oldest kid actually was just playing New Vegas pretty recently. So it's still hanging on. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. You know what? That's going to sit about there. That's going to look pretty good. Oh, so if I set this across the top like that, so that will be the height of the rear. You know what? We might be there. We might be there. That's probably going to sit down pretty nice. The only drawback, yes, they are indeed trail wheels. I had never seen these wheels before. I was hunting far and wide for trail wheels, and stumbled with 10 screws. Is it 10 or is it 12? Yeah, 10 screws to put the bead. So they are true bead locks. You have to put on and remove 10 screws if you want to take the tire off. But we're committed. We are committed to these. The Baja Boss. I mean, look how good those look on the Raptor. So now all that remains is to get that front axle centered as best as we can. You will, of course, notice that I haven't, we don't put this in until, the front axle looks correct. And none of the front links are correct. I will generally we'll leave it connected for now. That panhard needs to be. This is why turnbuckle panhards are the way to go. We'll go super scientific on this, and we'll go like 3 turns. That's probably about 3 millimeters. How long is too long for an LCG wheelbase? Here's the deal. The longer the wheelbase, there's only one thing that suffers, and that is breakover. So if your breakover is still fine, then your length is fine. I seem for whatever reason to keep ending up right about 330. I have multiple rigs at 330, between 320 and 330. And that seems to be my happy place. In general, I understand why truggies become a thing, because then you're not beholden to the industry, who are apparently making nothing. Go look it up. On any full-length body, Proline makes 313s and nothing else. That's all they make. So, I mean, that's the way they're steering us. Baseline is the 12.8. So 324, is that part of the reason why he's as good as he is? I don't know. I don't think it hurts. I prefer 324 over 313. So I don't think 350 is too long, so long as you've got some nice high clearance links in the back to get the rear end over. Breakover is the only thing that long wheelbase isn't good at. Like vertical stability, not going end over end, the longer wheelbase is much better at that. That's better, but you can still see we got a little bit of kick out. We don't have nearly as much axle swing as I thought we were going to, and as this pushes out, the pinion angle is getting better. So like when it's right there, we're still aiming down, but just a little. So we'll dial this out a little more. We will get the length of this determined. Trying to turn the whole thing and not get one end turned all the way off, but it's not going to happen. So we'll go 1.5 turns. The only chance I'll get to take it down. All right. Very scientific trial and error. Okay, now very close. Not quite there, and now the pinion angle is it just needs that upper to be about another, like one more full turn out, and that'll be there. We're not going to have this. So these axles, it's a good thing this thing isn't being built specifically as a crawler. Do they? Does Proline make a Gladiator? I'm gonna look it up. The Gladiator is definitely well over 325. Oh yeah, okay, there you go. No. So. Okay. See, I want to say that I was right. So yes, Proline does make a 2020. Oh, that's just washed out white, isn't it? Proline does make a 2020 Jeep Gladiator 12.3 inch. So they don't make a body for the axial Gladiator. They make a Gladiator body. So let me see. What is the wheelbase on the SCX 10.3 Gladiator? I know it's long. The rear links on the Gladiator are nuts. 353. 14 inches. Yeah, it's super impressive. There's a guy that comes over and visits every once in a while, and he has a Gladiator. It will not tip straight over backwards. It just won't. It's so long that the front weight can't generate enough leverage to roll it over backwards. Yeah, but some people need to be making some insanely high clearance links for that Gladiator. Hey, Big Mountain Custom says they stretch the front to get they start at 313 and stretch the front out to get their wheelbase to 320. Stretching the front out really changes stuff. I've got one or two rigs where I've stretched the front, but every other, if it's coming from a manufacturer, the only thing that they're doing is extending the rear. The front is just going to stay the same on everything. I still want to see. Proline Gladiator 12.3. I'm not seeing a Proline Gladiator. Well, I mean, it might be out of stock at A-Main. That's true. Oh, it doesn't help that Proline also makes a tire called the Gladiator. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, I mean, I believe you. I believe it's out there. I just can't find it. Because so far as I know, yeah, unless it's the Charisma where the front is longer than the rear, yeah, that is true. The SCA 1E platform, when they put the Toyota Stout body on it, it's just built backwards. I literally just reversed the gearbox and put that truck together backwards because the handling was. If your front links are longer than your rear links, you can have equal length, but you can't have the front longer than the back. Oh, I mean, so annoyed with manufacturers a few months now, all they're doing is recycling their rigs with new bodies. Yeah, yeah. I looked, I stared for some not inconsiderable amount of time at the, what's Element calling it? The Bushido Plus. Yeah, they put some nice little bits on it. There's like a cloth spare tire cover that goes on the back. Some neat little things. But it's just a Bushido, and the Bushido has equal length links, 93 millimeter in the front, 93 millimeter in the back to get it down to that wheelbase. And they changed nothing else. So Element has gone full Traxxas in that they really kind of only make one thing. And they just make a bunch of stuff out of that one thing, which on the one hand is smart, and on the other hand is also irritating. I think the non-smart way is the way Axial has done it. How many different gearboxes does Axial make? Oh my God. Every time they come out with a new platform, they come out with another gearbox. Traxxas has one. Element has two. Vanquish has 1.5. VFD twin. I ignore 3 gears. 3 gears don't count. Yeah. If you're, whatever you're doing to your wheelbase, as long as you're keeping the front shorter than the rear, we learned that. I was like, why is this thing so bad? Why can't it do the things? And it was 100% because they had chosen to build it effectively backwards. Hey, a channel member. We're back. Speaking of channel members, oh, I almost missed Michael Horn. Howdy, all just want to stop in and say hi. How's it going? It puts like little. I don't know if does everybody else see the little balloons and the jumping one. Wait, what? Anna says Axial just released a refresh of the UTB-18. Hasn't the UTB-18 only been out for like a year? They're making UTB-18 too? Oh, man. Innovation is dead. Oh, it's mighty close. It's not there, but it's getting mighty close. These are the 1.2 pound springs that come with these shocks. They're feeling a little stiff. 34? 34. Close enough. We're gonna go with that. And then again, we go very scientific. And I'm gonna go, that is 95. So that needs to be 95. All Axial did was put the worst electronics in it. I need the, wait, hold on. I have to get to an app. Okay. So the UTB-18 V2 is a joke, different battery and electronics. All Axial did was put the worst electronics in it. That's 100% right. That is the new meta, and they're all doing it. I don't know how many radios I've seen. We will see you tomorrow, Erwin. I've already uploaded the videos for Saturday and Sunday, which for him is Sunday and Monday. Oh, for those following along, it should be any time. It should be any time. The Flanco has successfully made it across the Atlantic Ocean. It made it to Germany yesterday, and then it is making its journey from Germany to Belgium, which, if Google Maps is to be trusted, is about 250 miles. So hopefully Erwin will be seeing the Flanco soon, and then we can figure out how many things I forgot to put in the box. It's probably a lot. Probably a lot. I know. Well, I know for one thing, right up here, right behind the microphone, I don't want to reach it and bump the microphone. I had boxed everything up right here. And when I moved Susan out of the way, after the box was already gone, his portal weights for his Mias axles were right here. So there you go. Yes, the UTB is the smaller Capra, as I call it, the UTB 12, because it is far closer. Speaking of the Enduro, here's the Enduro 12. These are the wheels and tires from the UTB-18. This is all the electronics from the UTB-18. The wheelbase on the UTB-18 is longer than the wheelbase on this. It's 2 inches longer than the wheelbase on this. This has an 8-inch wheelbase, and they call it 12 scale. And the UTB-18 has a 10-inch wheelbase, and Axial calls it 18th scale, which would mean that it would, in full size, it would have an 18-foot wheelbase. Did I miss something? You forget anything? Never. No, yeah. No, that's true. I don't forget anything. I remember it eventually. Sometimes I remember it too late. Like, it's now too late to do anything about it. I'll remember it then. That pinion angle. So I think I got halfway through a thought. Depending on what AR-44, what variety of AR-44 you go with, is going to determine how much caster angle you get, how much kick there is to the knuckle. Now, I had said on the Mias HD 44 clones, the Curry clones, they have like 20 degrees, which is a lot. Because, well, then you clock your pumpkin and then it takes some of it away. So on these, where we've got the pinion angle right about where I would want it, I would actually probably prefer it if it was clocked even just a little more. But as you can see, these are straight up and down. So we have no caster in the front at all. A regular AR-44, you can adjust the hub. See how these clamp down here? I don't think you can do that on these because these just have a screw that go through into the axle housing. So these, well, you can see if you just line them up. Look at the angle of that hub. Get this a little straighter. The angle of that hub with the same pinion angle. There's a lot more caster. There's probably 10 degrees of caster in this when this is basically at 0. But we're not, you know what, we're not worried about it. We'll worry about that later. This thing's on that 13-turn 550 with a belt drive and a 2-speed. We might be building a Wendigo here. This thing is going to be overly fast. I'm pretty sure of it. But it's being built for someone who is not a rock crawler. This is... Have I tried any of the axles from Endura? I don't think so. 112. Thank you so much, Tyler Brown. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us and doing the things. And it's not anything against Endura axles. I love Endura parts. I don't know. I just haven't. I've been this close. A couple people have linked me to the I don't know, they're under any number of different sellers. The fake all alloy F10Ts that are like $200. Oh man. They do look good, do they not? They do look really good. But $200, that's a trigger pull for a set of axles just for testing purposes. Yeah. Trailmaster motor question mark. Was there a first part to that and I missed it? Or are we talking about the Holmes Trailmasters? I think I said it in another video. I feel like I said it and I might not have, but this is a deal. If you don't have this, that's a deal breaker for me for brushed motors. I don't like sealed can motors because when they make a sealed can motor, those sealed cans are made to be as absolutely inexpensive as possible. So a $15 rebuildable Endura 540 is going to give you better performance than any sealed can out there. You run those sealed cans are you building a mud bogger? You build something to go in the mud? Yeah, throw a sealed can in there. Let it blow up. It won't matter. But this motor was in the 20s, like $24, and that was from A-Main. And this is a hobby wing. So that's sort of like a name. Good night, Jay Leeson. Sleep well. It is, it's what are you, 8-9 hours ahead? It's late. I almost missed one. What do you think of the new RC four-wheel drive Scottsdale? By that, do you mean the new RC four-wheel drive Scottsdale? I just got an email from A-Main earlier today talking about the new RC four-wheel drive Scottsdale. I don't know. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I like my trail finder. It just doesn't get driven a lot because it is somewhat counter to my philosophies. Let's say I know every time I break it, I'm going to drive it. Every time I drive it, I'm going to break it because it's not really we need to. Confirm I have the 35-turn Endura and versus the 16-turn Reedy. It's 100 times better. The Reedy crawler motors, even if you're talking about the Radon, the Reedy Radon, the Reedy Radon is a $50 re-stickered Surpass motor that you can get for $20. Oh yes, Trailfinder 2 Scottsdale, the next level in scale performance for the low price of $570. That is a Trailfinder 2 with a little bit different axles. But here's the deal with albeit limited experience, I will fully acknowledge, but my experience with RC four-wheel drive vehicles is that they look amazing And if you were waiting for something else, that you're not going to get it. If you want performance, it's not what you buy. And I am 100% a believer in that. You don't, like, a crawler is not this. You can build a crawler to this. That's what we're doing now. It doesn't matter what this is. You can put whatever you want underneath. I had a Defender that had no Traxxas parts under it at all. The only Traxxas part on it was the body. So if you really like that Scottsdale body, build a rig to go under it. I mean, if you don't own a leafer rig, I think everybody should experience leafers because they are frustrating. You have to learn to love that limitation. Any future plans to do an IFS truck build? Yes. I don't want to say that is on a truck in between Chico, California, and here right now. And by that, I mean the IFS2 kit. But I have an absolute idea of what I want. And yes, there will be an IFS build. At least this time, RC4-wheel drive left off the extra leaves. They're in a bag in the box. Yeah, I mean, I know people load down scalers, but that thing would have to weigh 40 pounds for the included stuff to be the right weight. That's surprisingly close. I mean, I'm sure. I'm positive. Ever thought about a motor on axle build? Yeah. Problem is, I did what I ordinarily don't do, which is I looked into it. And you've got two choices, neither of which are particularly cheap. But you've got the option of a Bully 2 and go from there. Or you've got the option of something alarmingly expensive. Like something that starts with shopping at Deluxe. And then you have just an absolute shattering of what I have called the crawler's paradox, which is now you have something so infinitely capable that, like, all of your crawler lines that you've meticulously handcrafted in your yard are no longer up to the task of containing the vehicle. So I don't know. Is motor on axle kind of ruining it? Like, are you then like, oh well, now I just want to go out and take the challenge out of it? Oh, I was curious as to what a flex link was myself, a flex extension. Look at that. That's, I mean, you can't see the panhard. That's good. And look at, pretty close on the parallel there. Not perfect, but pretty close. We've got axle swing. It's not overly pronounced. What we're going to do is we're going to deal with it. It's a couple millimeters. Yeah, I think we're probably okay. What is that warning? What did I miss? What's Studio going to tell me now? It's so delayed. It's so delayed about like the bit rate being off. Yeah, I mean, I get the leaf thing a lot. I get the scalar thing, and I had an initial problem internally, which was why am I not embracing this more? And then it occurred to me, like, I don't have to. If it's not my thing, it's not my thing. And I am afraid that, like, well, okay, I can justify not having motor on axle thusly. I still don't have a proper sportsman. I've got sporty kinda. I want to build a sportsman, but I haven't gotten to that yet. Danchi Ridge Rock. Some 380s up on there. Yeah, I'm surprised at how well the front end geometry is coming out. So, yeah, no matter what, because of the orientation of this axle and the way it fits the chassis, we're going to have a little bit of axle swing. We don't have any bump steer, but we're going to have some swing, and I'm not going to be able to get rid of that swing because, as you saw, I had to dial the panhard out about 4 to 5 millimeters to get me a little more centered, right about there. And I didn't dial out the drag link at all, and the steering is straight. But if we've got axle swing and no bump steer, I will take it. Bump steer is bad. Axle swing is just annoying. And I'm willing to live with it. Now we're gonna guess on what size screws we need to mount the gearbox. Because by gum, Leafs on F10Ts, man. That's living your best life, I think. I have tried to embrace Leafs. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to move that way, as I started with 4-link. Threw the wrong bin. So, like, technologically devolving is tough. It is a significant loss of performance. And I can't imagine, like, what was it like for folks who started with Leafs and then you end up with servo on axle 4-link front ends? I can't even imagine. Because I had all that stuff. I had a Capra before I had a Leaf spring rig. That's a bit of a culture shock when you go the other way. I keep forgetting that this gearbox, I don't have to worry so much about putting a screw into the bottom of it. Ooh, you know what I didn't do, and we're getting to do together, is I didn't check to see if my servo apparatus was even going to fit inside the vehicle. And oof. Yeah. All metal 2-speed with a 550 and a half height for shifting. That is we put a chunk of weight in there. We put a nice chunk of weight in the middle of this. Okay. Probably put this over here. I'm going to run that over there. Probably just going to run the battery on the side. I'm definitely going with the idea of I'm just going to take it as if I had it the whole time, and I am going to we're just going to do the magnet bar. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure I have enough magnets to do the 2 shorts. Otherwise, we will hit Amazon for that. There's one female. Yeah, the gentleman who was in the chat earlier, he has some very sporty builds. He's got a straight axle and a portal build. And we learned that gate 4 over at front 9, Judy, it is not conducive to the really wild sportsman builds. You get into this little pocket in between the rocks, and it just wants to throw your rig to the right side. Whereas baseline just goes straight up. And yeah, I definitely learned after building Sporty Kinda, you have to go on his line. Sometimes what was the easier line in something full fendered or like a Phoenix is not the easiest line for him. He can do a much more difficult line, but he has to attack a different line. And when I do back-to-back driving, sometimes that's tough, man. Moving the radio from one to the other. Michigan weather update. Yesterday, 30 degrees at 6 a.m., 61 degrees at 4 p.m. See, Mythigan isn't a thing. I don't know who profits off of convincing us all that Mythigan exists, but I'm suspicious because I get pictures from the one gentleman, the gentleman who's out at Outback Steakhouse right now. I get pictures from him, and one day there's 4 inches of slush at the parking spaces outside where he lives, and he sends me a picture the next day, and they're out doing concrete, and there's no evidence that there was snow at all. So y'all apparently have seasons that change daily, and we don't have seasons that change at all. Oh, yeah. I plugged that all in, and it doesn't have any drive shafts on it. Let us see if we have some axial drive shafts pre-assembled. We have a number of pre-assembled drive shafts here. So yeah, I am indeed going to have to order a set of Amazon magnets. Well, that's proper close. Is this one just a little bit shorter? Oh. I don't even know what this one is. I do know what it is, though. It's going to fit. Oh, look at that. That is the mystery and the majesty right there. Let's just hope that it's not the exact same length that we needed for the front. Just showed up. What are we working on? We are building It Came from the Workbench, volume 33. Why does that not fit? What am I doing? Which is the Raptor for one of my wife's coworkers. Oh, okay. I just figured out what this drive shaft is. That's a Red Cat. That's a Red Cat drive shaft. Big hole over here. Tiny little hole on that side. They stepped him down. So I'm asking myself right now. Yeah, screw it. I was like, do we dig out another drive shaft, or do we just get a 2mm cobalt bit and drill the hole out? I'm just going to drill the hole out. So Hawaii, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it correctly. Hawaii says the same thing that they do in Chicago. If you don't like the weather, just wait 30 minutes. Here's 2mm. Try a little 2mm cobalt. Wait, hold on. Why is this not fitting? I do have to defend. I have to defend us here on the mainland in that we can do the skiing and surfing thing too, because just behind me, behind where my back is Mount San Gorgonio. Boy, I got this drill bit stuck. And that's 11,000 feet. Big Bear Mountain. Big Bear is right up there, off to the one side. And you can go skiing there. And then Huntington Beach is about 70 miles that way. We do some surfing. I don't surf. I'm a bodyboarder guy. Hawaii. I'll take it. I mean, I see how an argument could be made that California is equally as mythical as a place like Michigan, but Michigan, the Michigan like tourism thing put out a like a sizzle reel of all the places to go in Michigan. Turnip Rock, and what is it? Some kind of Bear Dunes, Sleepy Bear Dunes, something like that. And I felt like they were really leaning into the mythical nature of Michigan. They're like, look at all these amazing places. Which does remind me, there's an Instagram. I think it's Instagram. It might be TikTok. They do the same thing, like those Department of Tourism sizzle reels. And they do them about all the for what California has. We have a lot of very nice places, and we like to offset that by having a lot of very not nice places. And they will do what these satirical takes on the Board of Tourism videos for places that are not particularly nice, like Stockton, Bakersfield. And they use footage from all these other places around the world, and they really make me laugh. Because as a lifelong Californian, we know of all these places. The nearest big city to me here is San Bernardino, California, which is... San Bernardino wasn't nice when I was young, and it's less nice now. But, we're close to nice places, and not every place can't be Hawaii. So sometimes, oh man! So I just drilled out that drive shaft, yeah. Oh yeah, needles. You know what's even better than needles? Trona. Woo! You want to see the real glories of California? Places like Trona. For those unfamiliar, for those not in the know, Trona is a type of rock. So Trona as a place only came into existence because of the mining of Trona. This drive shaft, I don't think this drive shaft is going to fit on this end of the thing. So I may have indeed drilled that out for no reason. I don't think the Red Cat drive shaft is going to fit on this vehicle at all. So let us try. What is this? That's the other Red Cat drive shaft. Let's put those off to the side. Yeah, Trona is a terrible place. Hawaii. Glottal between the vi and e. Hawaii. Hawaii. Good evening from the soggy UK. Do you think it would be relatively straightforward to build a 6x6 from a Charisma Coyote RTR and an unused Range Rover Builder's Kit? A 6x, there's not really a lot to a 6x6. There's only one thing that you need to sort out, and that is center drive shaft, center axle, mid axle. If you figure out the mid axle, you're set. You're good to go. That's the only hard part. Because mine is TRX4, mine is effectively a TRX6, and mine is a TRX6 because the axle's there. As the residents of San Bernardino would say, in defense of San Bernardino, at least they don't live in Moreno Valley, which is a reference that only people of the Inland Empire will get. And I talk about the Inland Empire as if it is this, like, oh, nobody knows the Inland Empire. What was it? In the last 2020 census, there's 4.5 million people that live in the Inland Empire. And we're not in the, we're not the busy one. Like straight that way, straight out that way, straight out 10 corridor. That's LA. That's 20 million people over there. I am having the worst time. Is it upside down? No. You're just fighting me. Yeah, I have seen Miata Commuter just mentioned a second transfer case and run 2 rear drive shafts. I saw a guy on some, oh, I see. I gotta pop the clip off. I saw a guy on one of the channels. I don't know where they're from. Someplace jungly that makes jungle noises. Indonesia, the Philippines, something like that. And he built a 6x doing just that with the 2 transfer cases so that you don't need an intermediate axle. And that actually might be the smarter way to do it, because then you get a lot more travel out of the rear end, because the rear axle and the mid axle aren't forever linked together. I want to see this thing under power. That's where we're trying to get. There goes Kevin's brother. Hopefully that noise canceller canceled it out enough to where we couldn't hear him. What am I doing here? Oh, it's not facing correct. Oh, I'm also, ooh, I almost just bolted it to the wrong output shaft on the gearbox. We would have had shafts rotating in opposite directions. Could have had the tightest turning radius you've ever seen. Probably not good, though. I'm going to have to look and see. I'm going to have to look and see what drive shafts I'm running on Clank, because I am having a bear of a time getting these to bolt up. Is it the plastic end? No. I don't know what it is. I can't get that end on. Yeah, an 8x8. That's a lot of spinny bits. I cannot find a front drive shaft that wants to cooperate with this thing. And I just need a front drive shaft. I don't need a front drive shaft forever. I need a front drive shaft for now. I have not found a sink. That one won't fit either. somewhere I probably have a shaft end that's been turned down on a lathe. Mike Bennett says the trans. It's moving too fast. The trans with the dual output shaft. What would they be for? It's what I used for a mullet, because then you can have counter rotating shafts, and I'm sure that there are other axles out here like these are reverse rotation axles. So if you put a reverse rotation axle in the front and a conventional axle in the back, you'd be doing anti-torque twist. So the two drive shafts would be spinning opposite directions. And I mean, it works. Every gearbox I have here that is either intentionally or incidentally anti-torque twist, ATT, with the opposite rotating shafts, it absolutely works. It's kind of like having portals. And then if you combine the two together, if you have counter rotating shafts and portals, then twist is as minimized as you can get it. All right, here's what we're going to have to do, because I have to get this thing on here. We are going to have to pop this apart. And I'm going to have to take a closer look at it. Yeah, it's like a millimeter. All right. So, need to get that pin started. So, tuck. Oh, that's out of frame. I set that pin down and it stood up. I am going to have to take this to the lathe. I'm going to have to take a little bit. I did not have to do this before, but I cannot get that drive shaft. I mean, I can see the lip. So you know what? I'm going to go even dumber. I am just going to take this over to the sander, and I'm going to sand the edge of that down. So if that light is blinking, we're still live. I can hear the noises of machinery. I don't even know if you can hear me when I'm walking over here. Well, I'll tell you this. That got really hot. Ordinarily, I would have lathed that, but I was like, oh, and I've definitely done the Molly treatment on this set of drive shafts. All right, come on. So maybe I could get the red cat ones to fit. We're past that now. We've moved beyond. I mean, you could put portals on an element. I don't know what one. I don't know what. I don't have a recommendation. I mean, TRX4 axles would be the easiest, because I've got more than one build that is TRX4 axles paired to a Stealth X, and it's a mountain of gear reduction. It's finally look at that. It's finally an excuse to use a 2250. You need something high KV. Okay, now did we get this back one pinned on or no? No. Yeah, it is definitely the same story there. Gotta do it again. So this is Southern California. As you all will know, it's not Texas or Georgia or Alabama or any of those places, so we're not going to get that. We've got pretty good barbecue here, but I don't know if we can compete with places that have like real barbecue. It's like I know people that have moved from here, living in Southern California. In Southern California, you can get both. A slight aside from barbecue, you can get both types of Mexican food. You can get Mexican food, tacos y burritos, and you can get actual Mexican food, and you can get any of the spectrum in between. And then I know people that lived in San Diego for years and years and then moved to like Pennsylvania. And I'm like, how's the Mexican food? And they go, that is not a thing here. That is not a thing here. So we have that advantage. We might not have the best of anything. We might not have the best barbecue. We might not have the best Chinese or Thai food or whatever. But we got it all. If you want to eat someplace, we've got that here. There's supposed to be an excellent barbecue place right like in San Bernardino, right down the street in San Bernardino. It's so weird. I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but Instagram, owned by Meta, like they're always listening and they always know. My Instagram feed that comes through on my reels, there are so many reels talking about like Inland Empire stuff, restaurants in the Inland Empire, San Bernardino, Riverside, all in this area, that sometimes it catches me off guard because I always think, nobody knows where this place is. This is a crossroads place. You've probably driven through it, but nobody's ever found the need to stop here. So when I see reels about stuff for San Bernardino, I'm like, is this actually happening? I got to go back to that thing and make another one. I think I did better that time. Wait, are you trying to tell me that in Norway there's actually an establishment called Taco Friday? Taco Friday. Wild. Wild. At least one person in the chat can attest to. We've got pretty authentic Mexican food on the street that I live on. Literally just right down the street. If your burrito has potatoes in it, you're eating the real thing. And if you're not 100% sure what kind of meat is in it, then I think you're doing even better. Fingers crossed. I took it off enough. I did notice just now that this particular drive shaft screw is not easy to get to. Okay. No. Okay. Honestly, this is my second one of these gearboxes, and I don't remember Clank's gearbox being this difficult to install. I can't get the threads to go. Which leads me to believe it's still not reduced down enough. I took that way down. Take it down the rest of the way, I guess. I know. The Red Cat curse lives on. I made the mistake of trying to put a Red Cat drive shaft on here, and I don't have anybody to blame because I noticed that it was a Red Cat before I tried to put it on. I should have stopped immediately. All right. Let's take it down the rest. That's how much more I can take down, really? About another. Let's hope that 0.5 millimeter is going to be the. Oh, all right. I'm back. I haven't cut this thing yet, but for those who know, we've heard about the man of osmium himself, Shaker MT, the man from Montana. Someone just it's going by. Curtis Knudsen said, "Is this going to be a thing on Friday's live build? Sweet." Oh my goodness, my friend. Hold on. Let me set this right down here. Would you like to know what? Oh, I can't do it. Hey, it's a leap year, yeah? We got a 29th? Yeah. So it'll be March 1st, right? So the next one of these, the next live stream will be March 1st. March 1st. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you what the box isn't telling you. This weighs 15 pounds, maybe 20. It was so heavy that it popped its tapes on the box. When I went to lift it out of the other box, the top of the box just came off. Now, there are no electronics in this here, and it weighs 20 pounds. It is enormous. The axles are full metal. It is ridiculous. And of course, it has a 2-speed in it. Why wouldn't it have a 2-speed? So when built, this thing is 621 millimeters long. It has a 120 millimeter track, and the wheelbase, the overall wheelbase between the front wheel and the back set is 432 millimeters. Full metal gearbox, metal transfer case, metal axles. It does come with a 45 turn motor, metal drive shafts. It's gonna be a thing. It is. Wait, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. So the axles come pre-assembled, but mind you, remember, they call this 12th scale. They have to call this 12th scale because I don't think anybody really has an idea of how big a 10th scale deuce and a half would be. Big. Real big. Yeah. Oh, so Tom Lee got himself an XX10, did he? That sponsor / affiliate money must be real good because we know what the XX10 costs. $3,500 is what that thing costs. $3,500. Don't plan on seeing one of those here. That's not a thing. Ooh, that one got really spicy. Yeah, I had only looked up the double X10 when they did the announce reveal of it. So I can confess I don't know what the actual market price. Yeah, close to 6,000. That's no. I am old enough to be one of those people that is like, back in my day, I can't I can't pay more for a rock crawler than I've paid for a bicycle, and I've paid more than most people would for a bicycle. Yeah, $5,000 for a rock crawler is $5,000 for an RC car is wild. It's absolutely wild. Yeah, I get it, man. Different strokes for different folks. But I looked at the specs for it. It's like 42 inches. It has between the front axle and the last axle. It's 42 inches long. Oh. And for $5,000, yeah, you should be able to shoot the guns. I just want this drive shaft to work. Almost. Oh, okay. I think it's going to go. I think we've got enough space. I think it's going to go. Yeah. Who did I just read? Andy Yates, yeah, said if I'm spending $6,000 on an RC, it's going to be something super dumb, excavator, dozer. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to get a full on excavator and I'll be out there excavating. Those Germans, man, they love their remote controlled construction equipment, don't they? They love it. Yeah, my daily driver cost me $6,000. An XX10 would have to replace that. My first car was $2,000. And I know that there are people that go back a bit further and are like, my first car was $80. Well, my first car was $2,000 here in California. And I don't think when my grandparents moved to Southern California in 47 or 48, their house wasn't $6,000. So I'm definitely old enough to be like, never in my life $6,000. Have I spent $6,000 on RC stuff? Oh, unquestionably. We're well past that. But $6,000 is 20 baselines. So yeah, Crawler Quarry. I'll get them. That'll be my ASMR channel. It will just be an RC digger just digging away in the yard for hours on end. You know what? It's not going to be pretty, and I can't even. I would never even begin to claim that it's going a straight line. I used to have a dropper on my cyclocross bike on my Ritchie frame. I love a dropper. And somebody at the bike shop, at my local bike shop, was like, why do you have a dropper on that bike? And I was like, why do you have a dropper on that bike? I said, I have to stop and get out of the saddle a lot more than you do. And when you're riding on the streets and you have to stop every intersection, the dropper is amazing because you don't have to hop off the saddle. You just go pew and just stand flat-footed on the ground. Then I got obsessed with weight weaning it, and I took it off and put just a carbon fiber seat post on it, like nerds do. Someone say spin? Did someone say Susan is spinning? Well, Susan is definitely working right now. This is her job. Hey, I found that wheel nut that I couldn't find. I distinctly recall, and I'm hoping that I'm not Mandela affecting myself, but there was a guy that in the winter, in some place where it gets apocalyptically snowy, like Minnesota or Wisconsin, he excavated the entire basement out of his house using nothing but RC equipment because he had nothing else to do in the winter, just like snowed in the winter. So he dug his whole basement. He turned a crawl space into a basement under his house, digging it out with just RC construction equipment. And I was like, that guy is thinking with portals. He is so far ahead of the rest of us. And then that was what prompted me for the first time to look up what those objects cost. And I was like, good God, an RC excavator, like $6,000. Some of the dozers and like 6,000 to 10,000. You're in that range. And I don't mean for the fleet, I mean each. And I was like, oh, that guy is definitely on a different level. Yeah, they do. So how big of an? Well, that's the thing. Those excavators, like say you've got an excavator, a scale like a 12th scale or 10th scale excavator, whatever scale they're in. They're probably like 16th scale, and that makes them this big. They will get to a price point at which you could probably go buy a used Bobcat and have an actual excavator that you could sit in for what some of those things cost, which doesn't change the fact that they are extremely cool. Yeah, $25,000 for an excavator. I can tell you for a fact that local to me, there are places selling used Bobcats for $12,000. That's like a Bobcat. Like they bring it home in a trailer and you sit in it and you drive it with the two sticks. So 1/14. There you go. Toe Shifter says, I started cycling leisurely for exercise and pleasure last season. Got myself a Trek Verve 2. Really liking it, but out of shape and messed up my IT band. Yeah. As I've said, when I've talked about cycling in the past, if you're not doing it for very long and you're not trying to do anything with it, you're just tootling, cycling is amazing. As soon as you start to think to yourself, if your brain at any point says, I bet I could go faster, then the next thing you know, you start messing everything up. Everything up. Do I have battery? This will stop us from going too fast, right? This is surefire because nothing is attached. So we'll have Susan do the first. We'll have Susan do the first power up. We'll just set it right there. Get that right about there. All right. That's on. Power button. Honestly, that's fast enough, really. We're going to have to dial some endpoint on that. You can see that axle. You can see that axle rising up. I don't know what gear I'm in. Oh, I hope that's second. That better be second gear. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, that was definitely second gear. This gearbox sold under a variety of guises on Amazon. I can't remember if this one is the Benedict Harry. I think this is the Benedict Harry. They're all the same guts on the inside. The split in there between low and high is irresponsible. I want to say it's 60+% in between low and high. Let us see what we get. And also, because it comes default belt drive, what are we looking at? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That sits kind of okay. If we bolt the shocks down to the lower position, I think that sitting ride height might be perfect. And then this is going to go right on like this. Oh, look at that. It's a Raptor. Look at it, it's a Raptor. I might have to trim a little bit out to stop some rubbing. This is another one of those things. It's a bummer that all of these big full-fendered boys like this, they are clearly intended for, like, class ones. Like, you put a proper 475 on here, and we are filling the wheel well in the back, and we're overfilling the wheel well in the front. I might have to get it right about... Yeah, getting the placement fore to aft of this is going to be... That's going to be all the deal. which is why the suggestion of magnets, and I don't know why the magnet idea hadn't popped into my head, but the magnets are the best because I just put the clear double-sided tape on the back of the magnet things, line the body up and go, and that's it. So, oh yes, here it is. That's not bad. It's pretty good. I mean, that's mad decent on the low speed. Yeah. It feels pretty smooth. Would anyone else like to talk about the fact that when I pull the trigger, it goes forward, and when I push reverse, it goes in reverse? I had a 50-50 chance when I soldered those leads on that it was going to be correct. And what do you know? It is correct. All right. I set the 2-speed up to this one. So let's see. Let's see how close to center did I get. We've got neutral. So we need a sound box because then I could be like, oh, roll. And then this is definitely high. Oh no. Oh, high gear is high. High gear is real high. I am genuinely surprised here. Like, I know what did I do? What did I do? I attached some inexpensive AR-44 axles to a VS410, a completely unmodified VS410. Yeah, I was like, will it do the side stand? Yeah, there's no way. That I should have weighed what his mighty core weighs. This thing, that motor and this guy gonna be spicy. He's gonna be real spicy. We might have to do a runoff here. I've still got it sitting right over here. The Sky RC GPS module. I probably have to re-download the app to my phone. So Rusty, Clank, and this guy. Oh, Jolly Green. Jolly Green now has a 2-speed. I installed a 2-speed in Jolly Green, and he's got a 3300 in him. So the record holder for the speed trap, it's definitely a toss-up. Rusty, Clank, the Raptor, and Jolly Green are all irresponsibly fast. Are we going to get a ghost ride today? I don't think today. I don't think today, because as you can see, I have accomplished one. There's a gamer. There's a Scottish gamer. She goes by Toasty, and she was doing a live stream. She has like 6 cameras. And she's apparently running the whole thing. And I don't know how does she change cam to cam live? I wouldn't even know how to hook up a second camera. So she's definitely got the lead on me. Yeah, Jolly Green, second gear. Well, okay. We can't we can't see it outside, but we can do this. So Jolly Green is on his new feets, 2.2s in the rear, 1.9s in the front, because why not? Just why not? In Jorda 2065, doing shifty duties. I think I set it up to here. Works a lot better when you turn it on. Okay. Where am I going to hold this? Okay. It's terrifying, right? That's low. You see the front tires ballooning, right? Yeah. That's horrifying. I can't wait because, he's in that 13-pound area. Don't take your eye off of him if he's coming at. He weighs, yeah, I would say that the Cross is probably going to weigh about the same. It's probably going to be in that about the same as him. Let's see the head-to-head combat there. Yeah, to someone who just asked, have I seen the preview for the new Borderlands movie? I did. I'm a lifelong Borderlands guy. I have more hours into Borderlands 2 than I would be comfortable admitting, and probably almost as many hours into Borderlands 3. And here's my take. Here's my take on the Borderlands movie. I feel like a lot of people that were involved in the pre-production and the production of that particular motion picture. Now, mind you, I haven't seen it. It's not out yet. But my take on that is that we have a bunch of people that had either never played the game or never seen Borderlands before. Because with the exception of 3 characters, Moxie, Marcus, and Krieg, I have casting questions for everybody, okay? I was just talking to a buddy of mine. When Borderlands 3 was going to come out, me and him got together online and we played all the way through. We played Borderlands 1 and all the DLCs, and then we played Borderlands pre-sequel and the DLCs. We played Borderlands 2 and all the DLCs. We played the little Lilith Firehawk mini that came right before, and then we went into 3. And it took us 2 months to go through playing all of the old ones and that. And here's the thing. What I was just talking to him about this morning. Yes, Claptrap is in the preview. Jack Black has Claptrap. If they were making a Borderlands movie in 2002, Cate Blanchett would have been a great choice for Lilith. Cate Blanchett, I'm not ageist, but Cate Blanchett is too old to play Lilith. I mean, they've just thrown the timeline away, right? Because by Borderlands 3, Tiny Tina is grown up because 2 and 3 came out 10 years apart, 8 years apart? They came out really far apart. I want to say 8 years apart. So also, unlike many, I didn't have as big of a problem with Kevin Hart as Roland as others did, and that is a longtime player of the game, because I've also seen a movie in which Tom Cruise plays Jack Reacher. So why not? We can get away with it. My biggest issue from the trailer and everything I've seen so far, and no disrespect intended, is that Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina? No. If you've played Borderlands, if you know anything about Borderlands, you know that there's a real specific feel and aesthetic to Tiny Tina. Ashley Birch created a real character in Tiny Tina. And I don't feel any of that coming from the Tiny Tina that we got. She's not chaotic enough. They turned, again, all respect due to Ashley Birch for turning Tiny Tina, who could have very easily been a one-note joke, into a developed character. Like a properly developed character. So, I think this is the case with many properties based on video games, that, you know what? There's a lot of people that aren't going to notice, that aren't going to, they'll never know. they will never have an issue with it. And they're going to go see the Borderlands movie, not because they are diehard, longtime fans of the Borderlands franchise, but because it's got Cate Blanchett and Kevin Hart and Jack Black and Ariana Greenblatt in it. They're going to go for those names. We are those ones sitting on the inside looking out, thinking, I want to go to this movie because it has Krieg in it, and because it has Tiny Tina in it, and because I want to see Marcus. And, so it's sad, but I do genuinely feel that the game players among us are in the minority here. The movie-going public is a lot bigger than the people who sit around and play video games. So you would hope that by now there'd be more overlap, but there must not be, because Cate Blanchett is Lilith. And as someone was complaining, I think I saw it on Reddit. Someone was complaining about it and saying, "Is there anyone in this trailer that's under 40 other than Ariana Greenblatt?" I don't have any problem with the age. They could have gotten around the age issue, and I know it's too late for anyone to suggest it. We've already committed, but Keanu Reeves was in a movie many, many moons ago called A Scanner Darkly, and they cel-shaded the whole movie, apparently by hand, meticulously. Basically rotoscoped it, redrew the movie by hand after it was done. And for those familiar, and I assume there are several among us, of what Borderlands looks like, they could have cel-shaded the whole movie. And then it wouldn't matter that Cate Blanchett is too old to play Lilith. Just cel-shade it. Yeah. When they were talking, now, mind you, the first talks of this movie started in like COVID, so 2020. So we're looking at like 4 years since the initial development of this started, and escapes from what they call development hell in movie making generally don't happen. Movies just die on the shelf. There'll be all those movies that never happened. When they talked about the initial release of the movie, that someone was cast as Scooter. So Scooter should be in it. To what degree, I don't know. And then it didn't even occur to me. I didn't feel it inside me when I sat down and nervously watched the trailer. And then someone had the audacity in the comments to say, it feels weird seeing Krieg without Maya. And for those who are familiar with the game, once I read that, I can't unsee it. And yes, it is weird to see Krieg without Maya. Because I understand that they're being kind of smart about it, and that they're not doing something that's directly socketed into the games. It's like a cinematic universe take. We're not just going to go straight off of, because, people die in the game. We have people alive in the game after people in the game are dead. So you've got to bend time to your will, I guess. And I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm obviously going to watch it. But I will say I feel like I'm more excited for the Fallout series. Some of those characters are kind of inappropriate, or all kinds of inappropriate. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Moxie is 100% inappropriate in all the games that she's in. And I mean, they have a lot of opportunities here to basically to Easter egg us to a certain degree, throw in some references specifically for us game players who've devoted all this time to the games. Because like Steve, hey-oh, like there's so many little things in Borderlands that they could reward us with. And if those weren't in the trailer, because they aren't in the trailer, and they could just reward us with that, that would be great. I love Jack Black. Jack Black is fantastic. I have seen Tenacious D in concert. But I will still say, uh, they should have just gotten the guy that voices Claptrap to voice Claptrap. That's what we all know. Because we saw what, well, some of us had the misfortune of seeing what M. Night Shyamalan, or as we call him, Shammy Lammy, what Shammy Lammy did to Avatar, right? Our beloved Avatar: The Last Airbender, which now they're redoing again. And the redo again, the live action redo, actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty hopeful. All of the castings look pretty good. But more often than not, when they take something that we love and they adapt it, I mean, Craig Mazin, that was where my hopes were so high, because Craig Mazin is the same guy that was the guy that did Chernobyl, and Chernobyl was fantastic. And he was the guy that was head writer for Last of Us. And Last of Us was amazing because what did they do? They basically just followed the storyline of the game to the T. So they were just remaking it into a live action. So then when I heard he was attached to Borderlands, I was like, oh, there's a glimmer of hope. And then they said, oh, but the director is Eli Roth. And I was like, oh, no. Do I maybe have a link? Let me see. Oh, someone said, I'm on one of your last videos. You mentioned a Pinion Gear set on Amazon. Yes, indeed. Pinion. Oh, wait. I need to go to my orders. I pick these. I generally pick the set that is, I think, 13 to 19, 13 to 18, something like that. That seems to cover most. And then they have a set that is one step up from that. I bought both sets. And as I said, they are not the best Pinion Gears in the world. They're called like Maker Tech or something. But Kingval is one. Amogot Hobby Park. I've bought a couple. I'm trying to find the 40. Oh, I'm just assuming 48 pitch. Yeah, I think I've bought all the sizes of the 48 pitch. And I definitely do, 13 to 17 is the size. I definitely do recommend you use these for setup. And then once you've determined the size gear that you need. Now, if there was a way that I could figure out how to post this. Where's notes? Let's see if I can stick it in a note. Oh, all right. Now, okay, you say the cross channel shows the gun's working. The gun's working or the gun's working? Well, it was like, perhaps, I mean, arguments could be made, but the best adaptation of something that is video gamey is, oh man, it's on Amazon. It's based off of League of Legends. Why can't I remember the name of it? That, I have no experience with that game at all, but it was so good, so good. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. No, it's on Netflix. It wasn't on Amazon. Damn, oh, it's gonna, oh, my old brain. Arcane. If you have some time to kill, sit down and watch Arcane on Netflix. I don't remember how many episodes it is. It's not too many. One season. It's a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and 9 out of 10 on IMDb. It's so good. It's so good. I will watch anything that they make that's Resident Evil, whether it's animated, whether it's live action. It doesn't have to have Mila Jovovich in it, but if it does, that's fine. Because Resident Evil, which people forget, the people who have played that game is insane. Everything in that game is insane. So anything that they want to do in the shows or movies, I consider they've got carte blanche as far as I'm concerned. There are no limitations placed upon you if you're doing with anything Resident Evil, because it's bonkers. It's bonkers. It doesn't matter if none of the things that occur in the movies occurred in the games. Let's see. Oh, I need to see. So we dropped it down. Yeah, that is Link's level. Front pinion angle looks pretty good. Not terrible. I was going to say earlier, I think the problem we might encounter a little bit is that, no, that's not bad. So that will sit right about there. Honestly, this body, did we span out? No. We are still dead 313. So we have close enough links to where we're not like swinging out. This body, it's about the wheelbase is about 5 millimeters short. Or they just want you to mount it up there. That's another option. What is the consensus? You know me. My temptation is to we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. First time ever, guys. Susan is going inverted. Susan is going full Maverick. And look, it fits. Look at this. Now we gotta paint. Now we gotta paint the bottom of Susan. So my temptation is always to put the body down really low. We can go up that high, though, and not mess with the sliders. That does kind of look better, doesn't it? I think maybe the higher up, and then I don't have to cut the fenders or anything. At least I don't think I have to. That Raptor body doesn't look right. Guess it is that the roof is laid down more, not so upright. I guess they're trying to put the blame of that on us. Because like we called the J Concepts 2021 Bronco, we called it the Flanco, because aside from the little ribby doobies at the very front edges of the front fenders, it just looked like a Ford Flex. Like if you had painted the things down the sides and put a black roof on it, it would just have been a Flex. So that's why it got called Flanco. They make all of the bodies too squatted. But counterpoint, I have read more than one person complain that they think that the Phoenix body, it doesn't look right because it's too tall. That's exactly what an FJ45 looks like. So Vanquish made a body that is the correct vertical proportion to its length, and people are like, no. I mean, if you look at the C10, K10 body, the J Concepts pickups like Rusty, his bed is like this long, and then he's got this tiny little wee cab. Yeah, so if you want to put that body into a better perspective, so look at the Raptor, and then look at Rusty. I mean, we know that the modern trucks have short beds, but Rusty's got like a 10-foot bed. And actually, if we line the hood lines up, look at how little this cab is. So the proportion on this is every bit as off as the proportion on that. And these J Concepts ones, you really definitely can't. I mean, it's class 1s. 393s are about as big as you can get away with. Boy, I make a huge mess when doing these. I tell you what. The craziest game I just started playing is Death Stranding. I've told you guys, man, Death Stranding is the weirdest video game I've ever played in my entire life. And one of the first video games I can remember playing was Burger Time, where you were trying to assemble burgers while being attacked by condiments. Yeah, the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 2. There's a part at the beginning of Resident Evil 2 where a licker falls down through a glass skylight. I literally fell off the sofa. Like, I was on the edge of the sofa, and when I tried to catch myself, I just rolled off the sofa. Like, it got me that good. And that part of me is pretty much dead, so I don't jump very often. Silent Hill was a fantastic game, and it's one of the games I wish more than anything that they would, like, properly remake, remaster, re-engineer. That one and the all but completely forgotten offering from the Square Enix, the Final Fantasy people, Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve was a great, like, turn-based RPG, and no one's ever heard of it. Good old Burger Time. Yeah, Intellivision. I had an Intellivision too, with the wild controllers that almost look like a calculator with a touchpad down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. We were down in Temecula. My wife wanted to go see something in Temecula. Oh, we went and ate barbecue. Well, we're coming all the way back around. You mentioned barbecue. We went down to a place called the Swing Inn, which is owned by, they're Minerals, Marie, owned by Dean Norris, the guy who played Hank in Breaking Bad and many other things. He was in Under the Dome, and he was in a bunch of stuff. He owns a barbecue place down there, and it was pretty good. I mean, it definitely, it wasn't the best barbecue I've ever had, but it was pretty good. And I forgot, I had a Temecula reference. Oh yeah, we were in Temecula, and there's an arcade on the main street down in, like, Old Town, and they are definitely aimed at us. Outside, there were like 4 machines outside. There was a bunch of machines inside, but on the outside, there was original Donkey Kong, Galaga, a stand-up Burger Time machine, which is something I've never even seen, and Ms. Pac-Man. And I was like, they know who they're aiming at. Because the kids today, that's not what they're down with. Oh man. Is Susan cleared out enough from the wall to Susan can go full car show now. Look at that. Whee. So yeah, I think we're just gonna it's perhaps easier. Yeah. I hated his Under the Dome character. That's how you know Dean Norris is a good actor. That's why I give points to, and forgive me, you guys are not involved in this, but for those who survived through the first couple seasons of Walking Dead, the actress who played Lori Grimes, Rick's wife, Sarah Callie. Oh God, I hate her so much. I hate her so much that, like, that's how you know she's a good actress, because she will play, like, Lena Headey, when she was playing Cersei Lannister, she said the same thing, where people would, like, give her the death eye in the street because they hated her so much. The poor kid who played Joffrey Baratheon was probably too good at it, and now that dude, like, doesn't even act anymore because people hated King Joffrey so much. That's for me, that's the mark of a good actor or actress, is that they can make you dislike them. And Dean Norris's character on Under the Dome, oh God, what a terrible person. I built it too fast. Well, I would have to say Lego Optimus Prime is probably going to take longer than just assembling this thing. Oh man, there's a horsefly in here now. So, I mean, potentially successful. Here's the problem. I intended to mention this earlier and then fully neglected to. And what I had fully intended to mention earlier was that I have already filmed, edited, and uploaded Saturday and Sunday's episodes. So I'm guessing I will record this. Oh, I just looked up. I will probably tomorrow. My wife goes to the gym on Saturday mornings. I will make an effort to get this thing bodied, to at least get the magnets on. Magnets should be enough for the ghost ride. So I'll get the magnets, and what I'll have to do is try to figure out how to attach the magnets to the body. I guess I could just sacrifice tape. So we're gonna double-sided tape the magnets to the body. So he will get his ghost ride. I think Sporty Kinda is the only one that hasn't gotten a ghost ride because I had to paint it because of the Velcro. This one will get the Velcro. Yeah, it will get the Velcro. I'll just build some. I'll probably just use ABS maybe. Just space these out, put some little verticals to put Velcro on, and we'll get the body up at right about that height right there. I think that'll look good. And I'm definitely leaning towards absolutely obnoxious green. Did I miss? Is Shaker MT? Yeah, I missed it. Shaker MT's giving away memberships again. The osmium level, the highest tier of here in the canyon. And let me double check it. But last time I checked, the weather said Saturday and Sunday, not awful. 69 tomorrow, nice. And 66 on Sunday. I am building. I am painting. I am painting the bug. I'm painting the bug. The bug gets painted this weekend, and that's all there is to it. Shaker MT was not here to see the box, and he was the one who funded this. So we will bring it out again. So he had asked how big. Well, Rusty for scale. There he is. So that will be. I can't say that we're going to get to the point of getting that monstrous beast operating in one go. It seems remarkably unlikely. There's a lot of pieces in there, but we will definitely have a go of it in the upcoming weeks. This may it's unbelievable how heavy it is. We may indeed end up going a couple Fridays building that thing, because that is going to well and truly be something. So what did we accomplish? Do we feel like we've gotten something done? Yeah, so I looked at the bags, and nothing's open yet. I looked at the bags and stuff inside the HC6. Inside the HC6, that is basically a model, and like a styrene model. That is a model and an RC car put together. There are so many pieces, and I'm thinking that I'm going to have to paint. Like, I'm assuming that's a deuce and a half. Deuce and a halves are olive drab. That's what color they are, or sometimes tan. I definitely lean towards the olive drab because the olive drab is how I see them. So I'm going to travel around the local area and find a couple cans of the Krylon camouflage paint, the ultra matte olive drab, olive green, and I'd probably pick up tan and the others as well. We could go Marine Corps and actually camouflage it. I looked around for suitable airbrush paints, thought maybe I could airbrush it, and then was like, I can't even find anything. So I'm gonna rattle can that thing olive drab, and then maybe base it with that, and then maybe do some airbrush like weathering and stuff. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. The plastic bags aren't even open yet. But this guy right here doesn't have a name yet. As of yet, unnamed. Here is another one that has sprung out of the live streams. Another live stream build number 2. We've only done 3 live streams, and we've built 2. Yeah, we'll just do some Marpat on it. Actually, Marpat wouldn't be too bad, because the places that do stuff for guns, like the places where I have to go to buy the gun coatings, it's gone. Catalyzed finishes, it's like Teflon finishes. The places where I go to that, you can get Marpat, like stencils. You can get Marpat stencils. Helena Recovery Team, you got deal on it. I should try Createx. Mission Models was enraging. Cerakote and Duracoat. Yeah, Cerakote and Duracoat. Yeah, that was it. It was gone. And Durabake, the Duracoat one that came in just a rattle can, and you would paint your part and then put it in a toaster oven, and then it's just automatically set. I did a bike frame in Cerakote, in olive drab Cerakote of all things. Yeah. Someone said that they the endless frustration of Mission Models. My God, that's what I painted Tranquish with, and that was pretty much when I said, not again. No more Mission Models for me. I couldn't. It was nightmarish. It was absolutely nightmarish trying to get that stuff to spray properly. I ended up just thinning the living hell out of it and shooting it out of an HVLP gun. And the paint went on super thick and then amazingly laid down pretty flat, which also made me a little bit nervous, and hasn't chipped. So clearly the paint works. It just, the Mission paint clogged my airbrush constantly. I used their thinner and cleaner, and it was still a nightmare. That is 100% my level of experience with Mission Models. I was just hoping for, like, I used to use, I don't think it's a thing anymore. So if you had any curiosities as to how far back my my tiddling with models goes, so Model Master, I know every single one of these is completely dried out, and I don't know why I can't bring myself to throw them away. But these were proper enamels. I've got the whole, I mean, if you name some military color, I've probably got it. Military brown, olive drab, European 1 dark green, pale green, interior green, European 1 dark green, neutral gray, Euro gray, doing all these models. And I love this paint. Never did me wrong. And to my knowledge, Model Master isn't even a thing anymore. I think it was under testers. And I don't think you can get testers other than the little, the little glass bottles like this, the like 1/4 ounce glass bottles. I think you can still get that stuff, but I'm 99% sure this isn't a thing anymore, which is a shame. It was my favorite paint of all time, and I can't bring myself to throw them away. Yeah, Model Master went on with a brush and you couldn't tell. It didn't matter what you put it on with, but when you sprayed that, when you put that through an airbrush, that stuff went on like silk. It just laid down so smooth. And when they say flat or matte, oh my God, do they mean it? It would be absolutely zero gloss to it at all. So good. I do have a can of, so the real stuff, Laca de Aerosol. I found the real dull coat, real Testers dull coat. Dull coat is the coat. And that is reserved for that big guy over there. I have had reasonably good luck with the Revell Aqua Color. That's what I painted the rims with when I did the banana, and it has not scratched, it has not chipped, it has not flaked. It's still, when I show people this rig, no one would guess that these aren't factory wheels. The only way that I could get the matching wheel was to get these RC four-wheel drive clones that I could only find in black. So I painted them with the Revell Aqua Color aluminum and changed the rings to silver. They were black rims with black rings. And I did and it's like these came out better than I ever could have hoped. And it is the only set of wheels that I have painted because I feel like I hit it, I nailed it, and if I try to do it again, it's not going to go as well. I have this sneaking suspicion that that's what's going to happen to me. So, what we did is we did it, and we've done it. And we have successfully gone in and come out the other side. In between now and when we do this again, I have got to get myself a mouse. Some kind of like Bluetooth mouse that doesn't need a little dongly thing, because for all of the electronics that are plugged into the side of the laptop over here, I have no ports left. They're all being used up doing this thing. I am also researching, apparently, I can use my phone as a camera. And if I can do camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, I know that is recklessly optimistic for where we sit right now, as I have a grand total of 3 streams under my belt. And I think they've all gone reasonably okay. I'm already thinking, can I add a second camera? Which is probably, I mean, ill-advised at best, but we will see. So for those still holding on, let me tell you, if you've joined very late, and you're going to rewatch, it appears to take YouTube like 16, 18 hours to get the full, whatever they do, the mastering to HD, for the chat to show up on the side, for all that stuff. Usually by Saturday morning, it looks, I use 2 phones for cameras using OBS on a PC and an OBS app on the phone. Works great. Oh, okay. All right. So you put an app on the phone. All right, yeah. Because my phone just sits here, and I could have the phone like over here, so you could get a view from that way, or I could have the phone on the straight down, so you get the top-down view. Something. I will figure. You know what? I'm not guaranteeing that I'll figure it out, but I am guaranteeing that I'll look into it. So that's a goal I have set for myself, to look into that. The cleanup after these things are done is almost longer than the prep. And I had to prep. I had to put some hours in to get this thing to where it was to be able to get it done in time. I did unplug it, right? Yeah. So, I guess that is my way of winding it down. The app makes the phones into networked cameras and connects them to OBS on the PC. Well, Big Mountain Customs says they're looking to build a Morvair. If you can find one, J Concepts makes a 61. They make the Lakewood, Corvair Lakewood. They make the body for it. I have wanted to get one, and as I'm almost positive I've mentioned before, it came. I got an in stock notification on AMain. It was in stock that day, and the day before I got that in stock notification, I had bought the Stage Killer and a Stance together at the same time. And I was like, I can't buy 3 bodies in 2 days. So I missed my apparently one opportunity to buy a Corvair. I want to get one because I think I have almost every J Concepts body that they make. As a matter of fact, in 10th scale, I think I do have every 10th scale J Concepts body that they make. So, I see people are giving me the little wave hand. It's like somebody's holding up the little sign that says "wrap" on it for when we wrap. Oh, it is in stock at J Concepts? Yeah, the shipping from J Concepts will murder you, though, man. You've really got to want that body. So, we're up to 105 concurrent at the end. That is hardcore, everybody. Oh, man. A Corvair on a Fordyce? Yeah, that's the stuff. That is 100% the stuff. So I will be, as I said, Saturday and Sunday are already up. So this guy, that will give me a couple extra times to get this body sorted and get him run. And then hopefully I can paint this and the bug at the same time. So that's a little optimistic, but we'll hope for it anyway. Definitely getting this guy into Ghost Ride period, hopefully for Monday, and then we'll do our usual things during the week, and then I'll see you again on Friday and all the times I'll see you in the comments in between. I have to thank you all for coming. Friday is my new favorite day of the week. The live stream with the Canyon community is absolutely the best. And I'm already looking forward. Yeah, it's the shipping from J Concepts is stopping me now as well. The first time I tried to get megalithics, the megalithics with shipping were $80, and I was like, no. So any members only videos coming up soon. Here is the official end of the Midwest Goodbye, which is this. Here is why members only content is a thing that is up sporadically at best. And that is, I recorded Wednesday's video on Wednesday. I recorded Thursday's video on Thursday. I'm recording this on Friday. There's no lead time. I'm clicking upload 4 to 5 hours before the video goes live that day. If I can figure out how to get myself ahead to have content filmed in advance, then yeah, I can do, I would just love to be able to do the members only stuff where members see it a day before or see it earlier or whatever. But getting a video up every day. Oh, if I was uploading 3 days a week, members only content would be easy. But but here we are. So I'm working on it. I mean, if it's a matter of just showing members like more behind the scenes stuff, I can do that too. I mean, you all got to let me know. You got to let me know. It's like when my kid runs out of some food, like when he runs out of ramen cups and he goes, "Oh, we're out of ramen," and I go, "How am I supposed to know that? I don't eat the ramen." So if I'm in here tinkering, if you guys want, like, if you're looking for like more behind the scenes and stuff like that, just let me know, and I will see what I can do. The video quality will probably be crap, but but you know, or anything you're looking for, you know, if you're like, hey, I've been trying to figure out how to do this, I will do something specifically for you. You guys paid to be here. I feel beholden. I don't want to feel beholden, but I feel a little beholden. Anyway, you know what I mean. I will see you all very soon. Look at that. I closed my exercise ring while doing a live stream. Hey, look, that guy's back from Outback just in time to say, yeah, don't think I haven't thought about it. A live cam over the canyon. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what all is required for like a persistent camera, like basically a webcam. I don't know what all is involved in that. Maybe I'll have to look in that too. So be sure to hit me in the comments, and I will see you all again real soon. I am going to do what I do every Friday. I wish you all the best and invite you to do your very best to have a good one. And then I'm going to drive over to the bookstore and I'm going to get myself a coffee drink. And then I'm going to look forward to talking to you all again real soon. So I'm going to move this over here. And there's a little button right here. And it says stop streaming. And I'm going to say, see you all next time, everybody. Come back for if the sign is flashing, you know we're live. Had a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time.